Hello, everyone. You're watching Newcastle United Life and Times YouTube channel. My name's Rob, and on today's show, I'm joined by Paul, Len, Owen, and Alan, and we're here to discuss Newcastle's 3-0 defeat away to Everton at Goodison Park last night. Now, before we start, I do want to say one thing. The amount of abuse Kieran Trippier got last night from fans, for me, was disgusting because that man's been nothing but sensational for us from day one. So there you go. I've got my point out. So, right, Owen, do you want to kick tonight's show off? What was your take on the game last night, mate?
Well, obviously the result was disappointing. I don't think it was a 3-0 game. I definitely don't think it was a 3-0 scoreline. I think over the 90 minutes, if we took where sort of Newcastle United hat off, then probably Everton deserved to win. I thought that they probably deserved to win the game. I've got no complaints on the results. It was a bit of an odd game, Rob, to be honest with you, because I think, in terms of controlling it, we definitely controlled the first half. I don't think, I mean, they missed a couple of glorious chances, but so did we. Almiron, when he should have maybe hit it with his right foot, and he went with his left, and he's practically spilled the shot, and the keeper's just sort of well, yeah, it was, he just picked it up, didn't he? There was no sort of there was nothing in the shot really. So, but yeah, I mean, like I say, can't complain too much. I think that in terms of performances, and I'm not going to use the tired excuse. I don't think it's probably the right way to look at it because when we win at home against Arsenal and Man United, we don't look tired. I just think it's one of those days. I think that Everton worked hard. They were stronger than us in certain areas. I thought our midfield did control it though. I thought that Joe Linton, Bruno, and I thought Miley was terrific first off. I thought he was fantastic. You look calm, you look composed. I think he looked a bit more adventurous at times as well. There was times where he sort of was flicking it around the corner and stuff like that, and they were coming off. It wasn't just like a hit and hope. And in previous games, he's not really tried that. I think he's went with a safe option. Isak wasn't his best game. I'm a massive fan of Isak, but I thought that was probably last night a game where we could have really done with Callum Wilson, where he plays on the last man's shoulder. If it gets put up to him, he either holds it up or he pops it off effectively. Isak, to me, it just didn't. He didn't sort of have anything on the game. I thought that he was a little bit disappointing. The Trippier, I mean, Robert, you've touched on it, and I agree, mate. I've got into a bit of a spat with someone on Twitter about this, where they've criticised him, and that's my response as well. Hold on a minute, if that's two. The lad's made 3 errors. I think it was Man City home game, maybe, when he tried to chest at the pole. Was it last season? Or maybe it was the season before. I can't remember. And they've got it and scored. I think it was Aguero. So that's one error. But the other 2 costly errors were 2 in 1 game, which was last night. Now, if you offset that against the good things that he's done, he's probably done. You look at assists, you look at goals, you look at sort of just general performances, what he brings out to others. I mean, don't get us wrong. I'm not saying that people can't criticise a player. If someone has a bad game, they have a bad game. But let's put things into perspective. He's been absolutely brilliant since he's come to the club, and for people to come out and say, well, he's been poor or whatever. He hasn't been poor. He's made 2 mistakes. I don't think he particularly played bad last night. It's just that obviously there's 2 glaring errors that have obviously cost us the game. But I did just. But in terms of overall performance, just a little bit lacklustre. I thought, to be honest with you, Gordon had a couple of chances that he probably should have done better of. I think the occasion probably got to him, which is fair enough. The kid's only 22, 23, who wouldn't? If you'd spent all your career at a club and you've got to go back there, and it's going to be sort of poison, it's venomous in terms of what the fans are throwing at him and stuff like that. But yeah, again, take the black and white hats off, didn't deserve to win the game, and that's fair enough. On to the next one, I guess.
Okay, very good. Alan, what was your take on the game last night?
Yeah. Disappointing. A lot of possession, didn't make it count. I do agree with Owen about the Trippier thing, but I did say to Paul a week or two, and we've been talking about this today, Paul, would you maybe just look at rotating like a sort of Trippier, because you got a hole on the bench, right? You could have put Livermore on the right, hole on the left, and I had a brilliant game against Man City, Trippier, but do we need to start, like, if there's players on that bench who can play, and I know it's not a great bench because we've got all these injuries, fair enough, but like Lewis Hall should be getting more minutes. So yeah, maybe he might have been a bit tired and may played a part in it, but by all means, I do agree with Owen. He's been absolutely brilliant this season, Trippier, and he is allowed a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
Gordon, I've seen some some shots he would never dream of usually taking. I think he was trying to score worldy. Why? Just keep it simple. You know what I mean? Do what you're good at. You're not going to whack a 50-yard strike or whatever it is, in the top corner. You're not going to do it. But you tried the occasion, I think, did get to him. And I like to touch on Jordan Pratt. He's an absolute disgrace to football, going on the way he did at the final whistle. It's going to be a different story because the 3rd of April at St James's Park.
Yeah.
The occasion of Newcastle fans on his back for 90 minutes. It's going to happen, and he's going to bottle it at St James's Park, and he's going to cost.
Can I just ask Al what did he actually do? Because as that 3rd goal went in, I was crossing over to the match on the other side. What did he actually do? I've only read about it.
Knee slides and a lot on it. He was having a bit of a go at Shaw, and Bruno was getting a bit involved because you know what it is. He's just an SMB. You know what I mean. He always plays the occasion. He never learned from the last time when he got dropped for Everton. They wouldn't play him at St James's Park because he just plays to the fans all the time. He lets the fans get to him. But he never learns because now this will be remembered as be 10 times as worse for him in April. It was absolute disgraceful. And
the thing with Pickford is he plays the occasion instead of the match. That's the problem with
half the Mackems here. Like you say, one of the lads at work, he's a Mackem. He can't stand him because as soon as they got relegated, he legged it. If he's such a big Sunderland fan and all that, would he not try to stay at your hometown club and try to get them back up in the Premier League again?
Do you think the 3-0 result, do you think it was a fair result?
Yeah, well, aye.
3-0?
3-0.
They weren't 3-0 better than
2 mistakes, and then I think the last one was the lack of concentration when that bit went through. And yeah, you could easily play the tired card because you can't have a plan B because there's such a limited bench. There's no plan B for Eddie Howe at the minute. But fortunately, in the coming weeks, we're getting these players back to inject some energy into this squad. And I'm not taking anything away from that squad. They've done an excellent job the last few weeks. An excellent job. But there's just games like that where there's no plan B. We can't change it up. We just got to go with it. And unfortunately, Everton, took the opportunity there. So 3-0. It is what it is. That's it.
Okay, excellent. Paul, what was your take on the game?
Well, before the match, I did say 3-0, didn't I, Rob?
I knew you was going to say that.
Obviously, the other way. Like you wouldn't have expected. I think that was their first. What was it? Their second home win since March or something like that. So you would be expecting to beat teams like Everton, but I think it's. I don't know. I'm like Owen. I don't think you can use Titus as an excuse because they had 5 days to prepare for it, and I don't think they really looked that tired, to be honest. It was just a couple of lapses at the end, wasn't it? I thought we controlled the game for many parts of it, but you've got to do with Everton. You've got to try and get the first goal, because once they get a goal, they just hang on to it. And you just see all they do is get the ball wide, and they just lump it in. And then you've got like Sean Dyche, he's constantly like that all the time. Every 2 seconds, he's like that. That's all they do. He's one of them from the school of Allardyce and managers like that, just the old school dinosaurs, isn't he?
A relic.
Yeah, one of them relics who you can't be arsed with. But it's
Tony Pulis.
Tony Pulis, your favourite manager. But I thought, like last night, I thought we did control the midfield. I thought we won the midfield battle, but I think sometimes when Botman's not playing, our centre-halves can get a little bit bullied. I think Shaw, sometimes he's not physically up to it in the air. I thought Calvert-Lewin, he done him a couple of times. He's quite strong, isn't he? He could have had a couple of goals last night. And I don't know. There's just something missing in the away form. They really need to address it. I mean, one away win all season isn't good enough. And I think when Botman's been missing, we've got hammered at Brighton, Bournemouth, and Everton now. I just think away from home, you need a player like Botman. I think he organises the centre halves and he brings the ball out as well. He gets them up the pitch a bit more. There's just something away from home. Last season, though, we're doing really well. We won loads of games last season away. I think we won about 9 or 10, didn't we? So we need to get back. I know we're in Europe this season, but I just think we need players back now, like really.
Yeah.
There's talk of Wilson and Longstaff being on the bench for Sunday, and then someone mentioned Dan Burn could be back soon, but I don't know. Where would he play at the moment? I mean, Livramento still had another decent game last night, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like Owen said, Miley was good, really good first half. Second half, I think he flagged a little bit. But that's understandable. He's 17, 3 games in 6 days or whatever. But I thought last night it was just a bad day at the office. We've just got to put it behind one and hopefully get a result at Tottenham, which will be hard. But apparently Son's struggling for Sunday, so that'll be a bonus if he's not playing. But they press quite high, don't they, Tottenham as well? So maybe we could get in behind them. So,
okay.
But all in all, a bad day at the office. Just got to put it behind one.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Len, what was your take on the game yesterday?
Well, not much to add, really, Rob. I didn't see it coming, that's for sure. I thought if we're not on form and whatever, we'll sneak a win. We might get a draw. And I really didn't see this coming. It was like Bournemouth all over again for me. I think we had plenty of possession, probably 60% of possession. They created the chances. I was amazed to see Trippier. I support everything that everybody said about Trippier. I was amazed to see him make that one mistake, to make a second mistake again. Unbelievable. I just don't know what he's thinking of, because it's not like, I just don't know. It's just like normally he gets the ball and it's up the wing to Miggy, and if for some reason he's just dawdling on the ball twice in 5 minutes, and it costs for 2 goals. And I think he played, I don't know, had some involvement in the third goal, I think, with the offside, which was playing him onside. But so I was really disappointed in Trippier's. My initial thought was, get him off, he's a bloody liability. But then when you calm down and you realise all the good work that he's done, we've spoken on at least 2 occasions on this podcast about not only is he possibly the best right back, almost certainly the best right back we've had, he's one of the best players and probably one of the best buys we've ever had at £12 million. So, when things calm down and the dust settles and he has 2 or 3 fantastic games moving forward, this will all be forgotten about. But he was responsible for what would have been, I think, a 0-0 draw. I think it was heading for a 0-0 draw. I don't think we deserved to win at that point, and I don't think we deserved to lose. By the end of it, we did deserve to lose. They were the better side. They were hungry. They wanted to win. We didn't want to win as much as what they did, I don't think. They had more hunger. They're desperate for the points, desperate with this 10-point deduction to get back on track. Other than that, what can I add? I think Miley really stood out for me in the first half. I'd like to say that I was saying to a lad at work, I'm just hoping that when everybody gets fit, that Miley is spoken about on a weekly basis as to who's going to be playing in that midfield. Is it going to be Longstaff? Is it going to be Bruno? Is it going to be whoever? I want him to be sort of part of that, regularly spoken about and playing regularly, and not just to sort of disappear back onto the bench and disappear out like 1 or 2 players have done in the past. Because I think Miley in the first half really stood out for me as being a great player. And as you say, he did sort of fade out in the second half. So it's a dreadful game, I thought, personally, and a dreadful result. I'm glad it's over, and hopefully we can put something right on Sunday afternoon.
All right, then. I'm going to go back to you. Sunday afternoon. How would you see this one going?
Well, I've been humming and hawing all day long. And, I think the Son situation's important. I certainly think if Son plays, then Spurs win. That's my prediction. If Son doesn't play, we might get a point. I'm going to work on the basis that Son is going to play. And I would do you want a prediction, Rob?
Please.
Well, so I've been trying to sit on the fence going for 1-1 all day long. I've been thinking 1-1, 1-1. Well, this is coming from my head and not my heart. Newcastle United will lose 2-1 on Sunday.
Okay. Owen, how do you see Sunday?
It's I think a lot does depend if Son's fit, because he's the danger man, isn't he? He's like, obviously since Kane's gone, he's really stepped up, and a lot of the play seems to go through him. But I think it's a difficult one, because again, you do want to be optimistic, but last night we could really do with a home game, couldn't we? On Sunday, an away game is just not what you want after you've just been hammered 3-0 at Everton. But it's. I mean, I'll always look at it optimistically. I read today we'll be 3 points worse off at this stage of the season than we were last season, and I know our away form's been really poor this season. But obviously the home form's picked up. But if you think it's not too damning, is it really? If only 3 points away, plus we've got an extra competition with the Champions League. But I think he's got to make changes. I think he kind of go with that 11 again. And just touching on Alan's point around Lewis Hall, I don't know if there's something gone on or whatever. He's not fit or he just doesn't fancy him. But I do think he needs to make changes. And I think the fact that he's going to be forced into changes will have an impact on the scoreline. But whenever you ask us for a prediction, Rob, I'm always going to go for Newcastle win. So I think we're going to win 2-1.
2-1. Okay. Paul?
It's going to be tough. Like the lad said, if Son plays, then we could be in trouble. But but they're not in great form though. Have they lost the last 4 or something?
4 home games in a row, Paul. I think I was reading, and that's
they've dropped 17, they've dropped 17 points from winning positions, the highest in Europe.
Yeah.
Well done, Alan.
I'd read, they've been ahead in loads of games this season and ended up losing more than any other team. So there is hope, I suppose.
Well, are they not the first Premier League side to be leading in the last 4 games and to lose the last 4 games or something? 4 games in a row, something like that. Something like that, anyway.
So what's your score prediction for Sunday, Paul?
My score prediction is, I'm going to go. I'm like Owen. I think it'll be 2-1. I think Longstaff and Wilson will be on the bench. And I don't know. I thought Lewis Hall did well at Man United. I can't understand why he's not getting more game time.
Would you not? If you're saying there's these two are coming on the bench, if they're fit enough to go on the bench, is they not fit enough to start the game?
Well, they've just started. Well, apparently they've been training it today. Away. Well, the squad hasn't been training, but they've been training. So I think they maybe get 20 minutes. They could be keeping them for Milan. We've got Milan and Fulham next week.
I was going to say you're going to have to go in this game with one eye on Milan.
Yeah,
because we've got to get through that.
I would agree. I think I don't think you start Wilson. Definitely not. I mean, he's track record.
No, he's not start Longstaff.
Definitely not. But to be honest with you, Anders, I think he possibly will. I think that Longstaff's that type of player. You know what I mean? He's actually fit. He's got good set of lungs on him. So I think as long as his injury's okay, I think he might. And just going back to what I said before, I'll be astounded if it's the same 11 players. They have to make changes, particularly one eye on Wednesday, definitely.
The thing is, we've got Miley now. So, like I said earlier on, if Longstaff does come in, fresh pair of legs, you've got Miley champing at the bit. He's a young lad. He'll be dying to get back on the pitch and be part of it. So, I think whichever way you look at it, I think I just think Longstaff, we tend to do really well when Longstaff plays, don't we?
I think you're right, because last season happened, didn't it, when Longstaff was out about 6 weeks and then he came back and he come straight in, didn't he? And you're right, he is naturally fit and he covers a lot of ground. So I could see possibly he might come in.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kraft's
lots of questions to be asked, though. You've got one eye on Milan. Do you save Longstaff for Milan? You've got to, if you've got Wilson on the bench, he's got to feature. You've got to protect Isak because he's going to be the one you want to start Milan. Do you know what I mean?
But Longstaff's it's his type of game. Spurs away in it when you need to cover the ground and close them down. I think a home game maybe you need to be more attacking, don't you? So I think Longstaff would probably be better for Sunday.
So Paul, are you going for a 2-1 victory? Yeah.
Yeah, right, Rob. I am.
Excellent. Right, Alan. How do you see Sunday going? What's your score prediction?
Well, you've got Chris Kavanagh, who's officiating the game, who has...
Oh, God.
He refereed the Man City game in the Carabao Cup, which was 1-0, but he also refereed the 2-0 defeat at Bournemouth. So, out the last 10 games at Tottenham, We've won 5 of them. So on that basis alone, I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
I'll go the same 1-1 draw.
However,
Hey Rob, I feel bad now for coming up with my prediction now.
I would, Len. I would.
No, I'm sticking with it because that's, if I had a fiver in my back pocket and I was putting a bet on, I wouldn't put a bet on Newcastle United win the game. I just wouldn't. But my heart
you will have a fiver in your back pocket. I guarantee.
Paul, tell the lads a story about Dylan at work today.
Oh, I was the lad.
Yes.
On my break yesterday, he says, Anders, what's the score going to be? The need. I went, I fancy 3-0, Dylan. He went, really bother, I'll put it on. So he comes in the day, he goes, hey, I looked at my account, I had 122 quid in this morning. I says, how's that like? He goes, I only put it on Everton instead of Newcastle. I went 3-0.
Oh, drill.
By accident?
Accident, no.
That's a stroke of luck, isn't it?
I know. Unbelievable.
Good for him.
I was just saying before, do you not think Kraft might come to the equation? I know the Sellers was struggling last night, wasn't he? Limped off at the end, so I don't know. If
he said it was a dead leg today. He said it was a dead leg. It should be fine. He said.
You play again. You play with Man United, so I don't see why not.
Actually, I think you're right. I think that's a good shout. When Kraft came on, I think he's played a couple of international games. In the little time he's had back in the black and white shirt, he's been excellent. So I don't think that's going to weaken the side. If he did have to come in, I don't think that would be a problem.
Would he not play Dummett though instead on the left and Shaw on the right? Would he not bring Dummett in? Do you not think?
What he'll probably do, honestly, we've said all this, what he'll probably do, we'll stick with the same 11 at the start. I do believe it.
Right, lads.
Sorry, Rob, I think Eddie Howe will probably say to the 11, because they'll feel responsible for that result the other night, and he might just say, look, lads, give it one last go. Do something for these fans, because obviously travelled a long way, 2 matches in a short space of time, and you 11 go out and sort this out and get a result.
You've got to be mindful for AC Milan, mind you. You've got to be
mindful. I
mindful
understand that, but the players that are coming back will be, they will be fit, and as Paul said earlier on, they may get almost certainly will get 20 minutes. If they're on the bench, they'll get 20 minutes and then possibly start against Milan. So, but you're right, we've got to keep an eye on Milan, but not the detriment of the bread and butter, which is the Premier League. So we still need a positive result.
Right, are you as good to do the Tottenham review show straight after the game, or just want to wait till Monday? Or
me straight after a game.
Monday.
That's probably
Monday.
A bad idea. Straight after a game.
WhatsApps last night, I think it would be safe to say Monday.
Monday,
yeah. So.
Is Monday okay with you, Owen? Are you good with Monday?
Sunday, I'm out Sunday, so
right,
Sunday
okay.
No chance. I'm going to go out and watch it.
So just finally, we've got the date for the derby, shall we say? How does that sit with you, Owen? Because you're playing that night, aren't you?
We've got a gig. So do you know what it is, Rob? I'm pleased because I hate going to the stadium light. I've been there too many a time where we've lost, and I don't think I've seen a win there. I think the one I missed was the Dabby's ass game.
Oh yes, when he top comes off.
1-0, and took his top off, and I missed that one. I couldn't believe it. And then I was away on holiday for the other one when
Ryan Taylor. Ryan Taylor over the whole.
No, I was there. That's the only one I've seen him win. The Ryan Taylor one. I missed the Shearer's last game.
The 4-1.
Did Andy O'Brien not score one? Say, was that the same game as Dabbers ass? Was it?
I can't. Do you know what it is, Anders? It might be just because we've been beat the last sort of 3 or 4 times we've been there, and it's just sort of etched in my mind that every single time we go there we'll get beat. So I'm staying clear of that one. I don't want to go. I'm pleased. I would have, if it was the Sunday, I would end up going. So I'm pleased that it's a Saturday because there's no way that I'm going to the game and doing the gig on the night.
Yeah.
So.
But you'll remember the Liam O'Brien over the wall.
Yeah, that was a real partner.
Lenny Lawrence.
I wasn't there for that one, but I tell you what, I was. There's a photo come up on Twitter during the lockdown. When everyone's putting up like old photos and stuff, and there was a photo on the 1990 playoff. We drew 0-0. It was when John Burridge saved a penalty in there.
Oh, I was there. We went to that.
Well, I was 11 at the time, right? So me and my mates sneaked in, and there's a photo of 11-year-old me in the crowd. That's put on Twitter. I'll send it to you. Like it's but I'm pleased. I'm pleased it's a Saturday. Pleased I'm not going. But if I do get beat, then I'm pulling the gig.
well, we are planning on.
We got 6,000 tickets, didn't we? I heard 6,000 tickets apparently. Someone put
I
on
don't
Twitter
know.
before.
I don't know.
And then there was an open letter from the
I read it. Yeah,
Trust asking about the full allocation. We should have
7,300 could have had, but the coppers have probably pulled the plug on that 1,300 tickets, so they've compromised with 6.
I tell you what, like I cannot wait for me. Like it's gonna be explosive. You know.
We've got the manager. Sort of, you know.
We'll have by then, Alan.
Right, but still what the manager's going to settle in, and you know, half of their players love freaking Mowbray.
Alan, it's a bad time to play a team when they've just appointed a new manager.
I think they'll be unsettled, Rob.
Well, hopefully. I think
they'll be rattled.
We'll have a few players back by then, so
we should have enough to beat them. You know, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but
we're a different animal now. We're not
that's what I said last week. You know, I think the gap between Newcastle United and Sunderland now is wider than ever. That's my opinion, and for once, I think we'll go into that match with confidence. Yeah.
Right, guys, great having you on. Some great points raised, and we'll do the Monday show reviewing the Tottenham game. And I don't know if it's going to be next weekend, but possibly the next, or maybe early on in the next week, we'll do a Christmas or festive show where we'll have.
I'll get the tinsel out.
We'll have a little festive hats on, and I don't think it's a good idea to come on intoxicated, especially with Paul, because we know what his rants are like. And that's
Anders, get some green makeup on. You look really a good Grinch.
Right, everyone, on behalf of myself and the lads, thanks for watching. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. And we'll see you all on Monday with a Tottenham review show. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye now.